At least 19 people, which also includes 11 children, were killed and 14 others, mostly women and children, were injured after Pakistan carried out airstrikes inside Afghanistan, according to the Afghan Taliban spokesperson Zabihullah Mujahid. The strikes reportedly hit civilian homes across 3 eastern and southeastern provinces, triggering fresh tensions between the two neighbors amid an already fragile and volatile border situation. Mujahid said that the victims included 1 child, 1 woman and 1 elderly man, adding that residential areas were directly struck. Afghan authorities strongly condemned the attacks, accusing Pakistan of violating Afghan airspace and targeting civilian infrastructure. There was no immediate official reactions from the Pakistani military or government at the time the reports emerged. However, security officials cited in international reporting stated that Pakistan had carried out targeted air operations against what they described as hideouts and facilities used by militants operating against Pakistan. Islamabad has repeatedly accused the Afghan Taliban administration of providing safe havens to Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan or TTP, a militant group that is responsible for several deadly attacks inside Pakistan. The Afghan Taliban government has consistently denied all these allegations, insisting that Pakistan's internal security issues are not linked to Afghan territory. The latest airstrikes comes just a day after a deadly militant attack in Pakistan's northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, where armed fighters targeted a security post in the Hasan Khel area. The attack resulted in the deaths of 6 members of Pakistan's Federal Constabulary and left several others injured. According to Pakistan's Interior Ministry, security forces later responded by killing 8 attackers and preventing the post from being overrun. The incident further intensified security concerns along the border regions already affected by recurring violence, and the escalation marks a continuation of months of cross-border hostilities between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Since late February, both the countries have witnessed an increase in militant attacks and retaliatory strikes, leading to hundreds of casualties on both the sides. And a fragile ceasefire was reached in March following intense clashes, with diplomatic efforts reportedly including mediation by the China that is aimed at preventing further deterioration of relations. And despite all these efforts, mistrust between Kabul and Islamabad remains deep. Pakistan maintains that Afghan territory is being used as a base for attacks against its security forces and civilians, while Afghanistan accuses Pakistan of violating its sovereignty through repeated air operations and cross-border strikes. Earlier incidents have also been disputed, including Afghan claims that Pakistani strikes in March hit civilian facilities in Kabul, which Pakistan denied, saying it targeted militant-linked infrastructure instead. And the latest violence has also drawn attention at the international level at a recent United Nations Security Council discussion on Afghanistan. India criticized Pakistan's military actions, accusing it of causing civilian suffering and destabilizing the region through cross-border strikes. India's representative argued that such operations violate Afghanistan's sovereignty and worsen humanitarian conditions. Pakistan, however, rejected all these criticisms and defended its position, questioning parts of the reporting and maintaining that its actions are aimed at counter-terrorism. And with civilian casualties rising and retaliatory attacks continuing on both the sides, concerns are growing that the already fragile ceasefire could collapse entirely. The situation reflects a broader pattern of instability along the Pakistan-Afghanistan border, where militant activity, political mistrust and military responses continue to fuel a cycle of violence with no clear resolution in sight. Notably, at least 19 people, which also includes 11 children, were killed and 14 others, mostly women and children, were injured after Pakistan carried out airstrikes inside Afghanistan, according to the Afghan Taliban spokesperson Zabihullah Mujahid. The strikes reportedly hit civilian homes in the eastern and southeastern provinces, triggering strong condemnation from Afghan authorities, who accused Pakistan of violating Afghan airspace and targeting non-combatants. And there was no immediate official response from the Pakistan's military or the government. However, security officials cited in reports said that the strikes were aimed at militant hideouts allegedly being used by groups conducting attacks inside Pakistan. Islamabad has long accused the Afghan Taliban administration of sheltering Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan militants, a charge that the Afghan government denies, insisting that Pakistan's internal security issues are not linked to the Afghan territory. And the incident comes amid a sharp rise in cross-border violence following months of strained relations and intermittent clashes between the two countries. A fragile ceasefire was reached in March after heavy fighting earlier in the year, but the tensions have continued to flare, and the latest strikes followed a deadly militant attack in Pakistan's Khyber but Tunga provides further escalating hostilities. Well, the situation has raised concerns about the regional stability as both the sides trade accusations while diplomatic efforts struggle to maintain peace along the border. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment and subscribe to the channel.